Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And today's sit down is a response to a movie that the elder Malcolm in our camp watched and wanted us to do a response video to. And this movie that you can find on Netflix, it's called Rampage, President Down. And if you brothers haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it as well. It touches on a lot of themes, too many to do in a sit down, but I can say from what I watched, the main thing that stuck out to me was the fact that Bill, who was an Edomite, he represented in that movie what happens, or should I say, Bill represented the end product and what happens to a everyday, low-level, low-thinking Joe Six-Pack Edomite who finally comes into the truth. Not necessarily the truth of the Bible, but the truth on how the world really works and how it functions. And that truth is that Edomite supremacy, though it works in favor for all Edomites, it was not designed and constructed to greatly benefit all Edomites. And see, in the movie Rampage, President Down, this was the conclusion that Bill came to. And he explains in the movie that it's a messed up thing in America in particular that parents lie to their children from the day that they're born. They lie to them and tell them that you're the most special thing in the world, that everybody's equal, and that you could be whatever you want to be. Just believe in yourself and put in the work and have faith in God and everything will work out. He realized that concept, that notion, that way of thinking is all bullshit. And he was very sad, very, very sad, because he realized that not only was he lied to, his parents were lied to, and all the generations before him were lied to. And to make matters worse, he realized that it was done by his own people. And that's why we're going to go to Ecclesiastes 1:18. It says, "For much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow." And so I want to go to the blue letter just to get that. Two words, grief and sorrow. It's kais, kayak.
Strong's H 3708. Kaas. Second entry. Kaas.
And it says anger, vexation, provocation, grief, vexation of men, of God, vexation, grief, frustration. Strong's definition, vexation, anger, grief, indignation. Woo. And you know we bring that word out a lot. And it says provocation, provoking, sore, sorrow, spite, wrath. So it says in much wisdom is much grief, anger, vexation, frustration, indignation, provocation, spite, and wrath. So, and then we're going to go to sorrow. It looks like the ma, the ka, the ah, and the ba, macabre.
Strong's H 4341. Machov. Second entry. Machov.
And it says pain, sorrow. pain as in physical, pain as in mental. It says anguish or affliction, grief, pain, and sorrow. So let's read this with the Strong's definition words to replace those. It says, for a much wisdom is much anger, vexation, affliction, and spite. And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth mental pain and anguish. And this is how Bill felt. He felt sad that nobody ever told him this, that he grew up living a lie, believing that all he had to do was just believe in the American dream, just as his parents did, grow up being an outstanding man and have the beautiful wife and the kids and the dog and the big house and the white picket fence and the whole aspect of it, and that nothing is wrong, and whenever things go bad, man just has to improve their self, or the other nations shouldn't be so sad and upset because this is just the way things are. He was fed that lie and he was very sad. And then it got to a point where he said that he stopped feeling sorry for himself and he was just like, I got to go out and do something. All this time I was in this, as we call it, the Matrix. This whole time I was fed a lie, and to make things worse, it was by my own people. And that's when you can see during many of his speeches, that's when you can tell, that's when the anger set in. The fact that his own people would lie to him purposely to keep him oppressed, as I said before, having him think that this whole concept and oppression of Edomite supremacy actually was in favor and was to greatly benefit everybody, when it was only meant and created to benefit the 1%. And that's why we're going to go to let's see. Wise man mad. It's in the Apocrypha. No, it's in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. You know what? I actually want to get the definition of that word mad. I'm going to just go to the regular dictionary. Mad. Mad, insane, crazy, mentally deranged, angry, annoyed, wildly confused or excited, extremely foolish or unwise, irrational, imprudent. Okay, extremely enthusiastic about, crazy about, infatuated with, overcome with desire for. Synonyms: insane, angry, wicked, mighty, kind of. That's when they use it when you want to say very or a lot. But yeah, mad, I mean insane, crazy, mentally deranged. Okay, and that's what Bill was. Let's read that again. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man insane, mentally deranged, and a gift destroyeth the heart. And man, was that one mad Edomite. That dude was pissed. And see, his reaction and the anger that he felt is very reflective of what you see today. This is why you have Edomite, or as they call it today, white supremacy groups. That's why the groups and the initiation numbers are at an all-time high, because you have all these Edomites out here, these, as I said, these low-level, small brain, small thinking, low-level Joe Six-Pack Edomites out here. They are finally waking up to the truth that, just like Bill, this was all bullshit. Edomite supremacy worked in favor for me, but it was not made or created to benefit me greatly. All right. If anything, I was a tool used to help enforce Edomite supremacy to benefit that 1% of people. And you see, this is why you have, as they say, these guys who do these home terrorist attacks. All right. You got Klansmen going out shooting people. You got incidences. What was that one? God dog, what's that dude's name? Timothy McVeigh. All right, that was a while back for a lot of you guys. But that's what you had with Timothy McVeigh. All right, who blew up that huge building. All right, they said a big inspiration for why he did that is he read this book called the Turner Diaries. And if my memory serves me correctly, the Turner Diaries was a book written by I think his name is William Pierce. He was like big up there, if he's still alive. He's real big in the Edomite supremacist world. But he wrote this book called the Turner Diaries. And as I said, if my memory serves me correctly, it was about this Edomite couple that found out the truth about America, and they went on this big ass killing spree, like Bonnie and Clyde, as far as the killing spree is concerned. Yeah, these the way this world operates, when these Edomites start to figure out what the hell's going on, it's a devastating blow. And that's, I can only imagine, in the sense that, being an Israelite, we were lied to, we're suffering oppression, we know the truth about everything, but at least we know there's hope for us. You got a lot of these Joe Six-Pack Edomites out here. Not only do they know that they've been used, abused, and oppressed, but what makes matters worse is they're starting to hear this truth, and they know that there's no hope for them. So you're going to have a whole lot of angry Edomites out here, just like Bill, who are just going to be like, you know what? It's time for me to get up off my ass, make things right, and get this shit done by any means necessary. And when you watch that movie, Rampage, President Down, that's the conclusion that Bill came up with. He said, you know what? I'm going to make things right. I've been lied to, I've been abused, I've been oppressed and been manipulated for far too long. It's time for me to get things done by any means necessary. And when you get to the end of the movie, it eventually led to just outright chaos and anarchy on the street, which is going to happen very soon in America, because you're going to see and you're going to feel all the hate and anger that these good old boys have been holding in and just waiting for the right time to do it. That's why we're going to go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and we're going to close it out from there. And it says, starting at the 14th verse, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Because not only are you going to have all the different nations revolting and uprising and getting it in on each other. But the one thing that you're going to see that's very surprising is you're going to have a whole lot of Edomite on Edomite crime and aggression and anger and violence. I mean, you already got that today. That's a very dark and hidden fact that the mainstream media tries to hide, that the majority of the deaths by gunfire, all right, is Edomite on Edomite violence, particularly civil servants like police officers, state troopers, and regular Joe six-pack Edomites. Those are the highest acts of aggression and violence, is Edomite on Edomite crime. And that's going to be a sight to see when these damn devils start taking the law into their own hands. And it says, for there shall be sedition, a violent, angry uprising, all right, against a group of people that are oppressing another. And it says, in invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, all right, just like Bill. He shot the president, the vice president, and if I remember correctly, the Speaker of the House, because that's next in line as far as the presidency is concerned. Okay? And he shot a whole bunch of people. Anybody that got in the way, he didn't care. You was getting taken out. And it says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Basically, whatever I think of and plan, if I can achieve it, or when I achieve it, that's what's going to happen. That's what is true power. That's what's going to make right in this world and change the world. And it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Right? Because that pride that they had, and yes, I am an American. I am a proud white man. See, all that is going to be completely shattered. As I said before, when an Edomite comes into the truth, such as that, there's no more pride there. And it says, the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid, because that anger is just going to come out in a huge wild and violent rage, almost like the temper tantrum of a young child. All right, when a young child gets angry, they just lash out and they're violent and they're yelling, because that's the only way they know how to express what they're going through at the time. They don't know how to talk it out or go work out or just calm themselves and then come back later. No, that's how that fury is going to come out. And it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And in that movie, as I said, Bill spared no one. Man, woman, old, young, he didn't care. If you came in between him and his plan, you was taking a dirt nap. And that's what you're going to have here in America. All right? You're going to have a whole lot of hurt Edomites who are going to take it out on everybody else because their own people lied to them. There's a precept in the book of Psalms that King David talked about. I can't remember it, but he said that, and this is roughly paraphrasing, that he could have taken any type of mental or physical how do I call this affliction from anybody else and he would have been okay. But the affliction that hurt him the most was the affliction that was done by his own kin, the people that was closest to him. And that's what you have. That, like I said, that's what you have in this movie. Bill was the full embodiment and the consequence and the end product of a low level, low thinking Joe Sixpack Edomite who finally comes into the truth that everything that he was taught and learned from a little child was all bullshit. So, hey, like I said, for a movie that wasn't on no big super Hollywood budget, it was great. I highly suggest you brothers watch it. I mean, we're under this so-called halfway quarantine martial law, so you should have a whole lot of time to watch some Netflix and anything else you want to catch up on. So with that being said, I hope you were edified, giving all glory, honor, praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. With that, we're going to say shalom.